On today's edition of this T&G webcast, I want to say a word about voting. Hi, Alex McFarland here. Proverbs 11:11 says, "By the blessing of the upright, a city is exalted, but by the mouth of the wicked, it is destroyed." Proverbs 11:11. The blessing of the upright. That speaks to what the Bible has a lot to say about regarding citizenship. And I honestly believe a part of our responsibility before God as citizens is to vote. And let me encourage you to not just be jaded and opt out and say, oh, I'm just not going to vote. I'm sick of the whole mess, the whole noise. Listen, Edmund Burke, that famous statesman and philosopher in colonial America, he said, all that is necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. Our first Chief Justice of the U.S. Supreme Court, John Jay, in the 1700s. You know, I think about this while so many people are wrangling about Amy Coney Barrett and her Catholic faith and her belief in moral truth, making her unfit to serve. My goodness, if Amy Coney Barrett is unfit to serve on the U.S. Supreme Court, then George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, they would have been unfit to serve on the U.S. Supreme Court too. Because like John Jay said, he said, in this Christian nation, he says, Providence has given us the ability to elect our rulers. And John Jay said, it is in the interest of all citizens to select and prefer Christians for their leaders. End of quote. Now, I know that nowadays that would be deemed as very politically incorrect speech, the idea that Christians should be leaders. But I believe they should be. And I believe that all people need to vote. And that's why, let me share just a couple of thoughts in this challenge to make the effort to be registered, to be informed, and to get out there and vote, regardless of the weather, regardless of how inconvenient it may or may not be. Do you know G.K. Chesterton was a Christian thinker that we cite many times in the programs, very influential. He was a Brit, but he loved America, and he came over here, and during the Scopes trial of the 20s, he debated H.L. Mencken of the Baltimore Sun and tried to shore up Christianity. But Chesterton said most people, if they even do vote, vote below themselves. What did he mean by that? Let me read this quote. He said, the average person votes with half a mind or 100th part of his intellect. A man ought to vote with his whole self as he worships or even gets married. The question is not so much whether only a minority of the electorate votes. The point is only a minority of the voter votes. End of quote. Now, Chesterton meant we ought to think about things. We ought to look at the worldview of the people that we're sending to office. We ought to think about what they believe about morals. Do they understand the connection between the Constitution and belief in morality and, yes, belief in God and absolutely belief in the sanctity of human life? What do they believe about American sovereignty? What do they believe about immigration, the economy? What do they believe about the redistribution of wealth and confiscatory taxation? Do they believe you should keep what you earn? Or the people you elect even believing in private property ownership rights? Charles Finney was an evangelist in the 19th century. We're hugely indebted to the life and the work of Finney. He was an attorney and a minister. He said, the time has come that Christians must vote for honest men to take consistent ground in politics, or the Lord will curse this nation. Nowadays, you don't hear much talk like that from anybody, certainly not from ministers. Most preachers wouldn't really have the courage or the presence of mind to speak very soundly and solidly about sin or a curse from God. Will we be cursed by God if we continue to reject truth and live immorally? Well, the Bible talks about the wicked will be turned to hell and all the nations that forget God. Now, that's tough talk and that's harsh talk. But what is that? It shows the importance of building our lives on truth, morality, righteousness, and calling our nation back to such when we wander askew. And you can be a part of doing that by voting. I want to thank you for watching. Please share us on social media. If you do share on your social media platforms, you're automatically entered to win our weekly book giveaway. I want to remind you my book, The Assault on America. Please check it out, read it. Thanks for watching Truth for a New Generation. God bless you. Vote, pray for America, and we'll see you next time.